Oh God. Do y'all wanna see some E4 mafia behavior? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh God. Active duty troops detained in DEA raid at illegal Colorado nightclub. You know, if I'm going to a nightclub either to quite possibly try to take home some strange, or if it's a strip club just to see some strange, right? I'd be highly upset if DEA rolled in and was like, get on the fucking crowd! And I'm just like, but I'm just here for the titties. What do you mean? Or were these soldiers a part of whatever illegal activity was going on at the Colorado nightclub? I don't know, but I've been to several nightclubs with other active duty soldiers that don't have much sense about them, and we never had DEA involved. I was overseas. I don't know what the European version of DEA is, but something tells me they're afraid of the Italian mafia, and we were surrounded by the Italian mafia when we were over there, so we never really got fucked with. And if we did get fucked with in this kind of way, it was gonna be by the mafia, but we were smart, so we didn't really fuck with that. We didn't get too much trouble like this. However, there is a bar in my hometown of Columbus, Georgia that used to go by the name of Shanty Shack. And Shanty Shack eventually, well, they've since gone out of business. They're not there anymore. But for the longest time, they were there, and they had a good run there in Columbus, where for a time they permanently banned any soldier from Fort Benning. It didn't matter what your MOS was either. It just did not matter. If you wore the uniform and you were in the service, you were banned from this place because too many soldiers were going in there starting problems. And I think the last problem that they had before like this place completely went out of business was a fucking knife fight between 4 soldiers and like 8 civilians. Active duty service members were among those detained during a crackdown by the US Drug Enforcement Administration on an unlicensed underground nightclub in Colorado Springs. Okay. Now, was this underground nightclub in Colorado Springs brought up in the weekly Friday safety brief meeting that you have every Friday, because the military is going to act like your mommy and daddy every Friday and tell you not to drink and drive, not to kill your spouse, not to beat your dog, or fucking kill your kid, right? They're going to tell you all these things. They have to protect themselves. So did the Friday safety brief have anything to do with not going to this club? Because if no one in the safety brief said do not go to this club, then these soldiers, I mean, this just really reminds me of E4 Mafia behavior. I'm trying to have their back. About 200 people were in the venue when DEA agents, as well as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, raided the club early Sunday morning. The agency seized drugs and weapons and detained 114 undocumented immigrants, the DEA said in a statement. Yeah, but what about the soldiers? Why were they detained? Let me guess, you were trying to do your job, and these soldiers were getting ballsy and getting loud with you and like, hey man, leave old Jose alone, man. Me and him were doing tequila earlier. He's a real American. I'm talking to him for like 15 minutes. You can't take Jose. He's part of the group. Were y'all doing that and y'all got arrested too for fucking around? I don't know, man. It just that seems like something I would do, probably. More than a dozen active duty troops were at the nightclub, some as patrons and others working as security guards, the DEA said. All right. We have some active duty service members who were armed security guards, said Jonathan Poulin, the special agent in charge at the DEA's Rocky Mountain. Hold on. You have some active duty members who were armed security guards for the establishment? But if the club, are they armed security guards for the club? Because if the club is a focal point and a point of interest for law enforcement for drug trafficking, acts of violence, and prostitution, then how are these guys even getting jobs? I would feel like the chain of command would be like, you work where? Nah, Sergeant, get the fuck out. You're not working there. No, stop it. The agency had been investigating the after-hour club for months and had witnessed prostitution, drug trafficking, and acts of violence, Poulin said in the news conference. What does this have to do with the soldiers? Get to the fucking point. When asked by local news station K What the Fuck Ever whether the service members knew about the illegal acts, oh, I guarantee they knew, but they're not going to say that. We had a club in Italy that was called Club Hazard. We were banned from going there because they did, well, not so nice things. We still went there. And when we were questioned, saying, are y'all going to Club Hazard? Did y'all go to Club Hazard? I heard there was a group of soldiers at Club Hazard last weekend. No. Man, Club Hazard sucks. We just be going to Customs and Club Blue and all this stuff. Yeah, we were going to Club Hazard, of course. And of course they know that this stuff is happening there, but they're not there for that stuff because they're not retarded. They're just there for quite possibly leaving home with a night salute or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody who goes into a nightclub at 3 o'clock in the morning knows what they're getting into. Yeah, but not a lot of times do you know that you're getting into prostitution, drug trafficking, and acts of violence, because one time my buddy took me to a strip club that had one stripper and a whole bunch of men in the background with black suits and leather black gloves. And they were having a conversation with another Italian man that was getting really animated and raising his hands and throwing a fit, and there was a black briefcase on the table. And then the guy in the black suit took the man that was irate, the Italian man. They went into the back. I heard a loud bang, and I never saw that man again. And I never saw the guy with the black gloves again. And I immediately left the establishment. If it was that bad, these soldiers wouldn't have gone there. But because most of this stuff probably happened either under the nose of these soldiers, or it just happened, they were like, oh, well, fuck, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not fucking that prostitute. I'm good. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just gonna hang here. I don't really give a fuck that laws are being broken, because, I mean, would you? Really? I don't care. The Army confirmed Monday the troops were stationed at nearby Fort Carson, a post located just south of Colorado Springs. Fort Carson leaders are aware of the Drug Enforcement Administration-led operation that occurred at an illegal nightclub in Colorado Springs early Sunday morning. I guarantee that if they didn't get the safety brief already, they're getting the safety brief now. All right, men, ladies, gentlemen, listen, this Friday, don't beat your wife, don't beat your husband, don't beat your dog, don't beat your kids, don't beat your goldfish, don't drink and drive, and do not go to club so-and-so. I guarantee it. If they haven't already put out the safety brief already, they will this Friday. If anything, they probably already put out the safety brief today, and they will repeat themselves on Friday just to drive it home, bro, because there were places we weren't allowed to go either. We still went, but if we went and got caught, that was our ass. The spokesperson said Army leadership will look at each of the service member situations on a case-by-case basis, adding that they were all presumed innocent until proven guilty. I think they were... What are you going to get them for? You went to a club that was illegal. Well, I didn't know it was illegal, man. I went in, they asked for my ID. I was like, here you go. You got alcohol? You got bitches in there? I want to go in there, right? Oh, you got bitches and alcohol? Cool, here's my ID. I'm over 21, let me in. Who actually really verifies a place, man? Especially when you're this young, you're in the military, you don't care. Like, all your buddies are like, yo, let's go to the club, let's get fucked up, let's hit on some bitches, right? And you're over here just like, actually, fellas, I'm just Googling real quick, and I noticed that this establishment has a high rate of stabbings. And I think they have prostitution, and I think they sell drugs out of the kitchen. I really don't think we should go here, fellas. Fucking says that! Nobody! Oh my god, and if you do say that, you're not going out with the boys. Go away. I don't think these soldiers should get in any trouble, if any trouble at all, unless they were actually participating in the illegal acts that were actually happening. But simply just being at a place where illegal activity happened, and you were none the wiser, I don't really think that should do anything. I think they just detained everybody because they just detained everybody. But if these guys were guilty of something, I don't think so. The Army did not share the number of service members detained in the raid. Well, when you go to a nightclub and you're in the military, and chances are you're in the infantry, you're not going to travel with anything less than 5 to 6 people. Believe me, I know. It's probably about 5 to 6, at most 9 soldiers, probably. Because what happens sometimes is usually standard number for going out, man, when you're in the military with your boys, 4, right? But maybe one of your other homies also has a group of 4, and you 4 see those 4, and y'all are just like, yo, what's up? Drinks? Let's go. And y'all hook up, right? So it goes from 4 to maybe 7 to maybe 8. At the very end of the night, once you've, talked to a whole bunch of people, gone to all these different bars with different soldiers, you might end up with like 15 soldiers in one group going to places, right? Which I was never really a fan of, because out of those 15 soldiers, there's always one that wants to start a fight, and I'm just trying to get laid. I don't have time to fight, right? So, like, yeah. Illegal activities of any kind do not represent our military values, but did they do anything? Simply being there, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like this is like just some E4 mafia at the wrong place at the wrong time type of shit. We will continue to work in coordination with our federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to ensure our community is safe. Attorney General Pamela Bondi posted about the large-scale operation Sunday on social media, alleging members of the criminal gangs Trend the Arak. I'm not even gonna read that out loud because it's a criminal gang. I think that's cringe. So, alleging members of the criminal gangs cringe bastards. As we approach his 100 days in office, Trump's directive to make America safe again is achieving results, Bondi said. The 114 undocumented immigrants who were detained during the raid were put onto buses for processing and likely eventual deportation. So, again, this probably had nothing to do with the soldiers. The soldiers probably weren't doing anything wrong. Maybe they got a little bit belligerent. Maybe they got a little bit loud. Maybe they got a little bit like, yeah, fuck you, blah, blah, they're drunk, whatever, right? But as far as like crimes, prostitution, illicit drugs, I don't really think they were there for that. Drug trafficking, acts of violence, I don't really, well, the acts of violence, I feel like I have to give you that one, maybe. I mean, we are soldiers at the end of the day. They were just hanging out at a club. It's like, remember the movie Bad Boys? Where Mike goes out and does a whole bunch of crazy shit, and then Marcus is like, but Captain, I was at a family barbecue. You took out a boat? It wasn't even on water! How did you sink a boat? And it's not on water! Captain, I was at a family barbecue. I don't know what you want from... That's what it feels like, really, at the end of the day. Like, I don't know why you're yelling at me, man. Like, I was just there talking to this really bad girl, dude. And, like, just DEA comes in and cockblocks the shit out of me. I don't know what you want from me, Sergeant. Fuck, man. I'm on their side until more information comes out that they were actually... If more information comes out that they were just doing some crazy shit. Look at this guy. Look at him. Bro, jean shorts, some J's, and a black t-shirt. Do you really think this? I mean, that might be illegal. Who knows? But that could be a soldier, and he's just like, but why? But that bitch Stacy set me up. I feel like I was just... I don't know, man. Crazy. The soldiers of Fort Carson are about to receive one really long, really annoying, really drawn-out safety brief, and it's not going to be fun.